We're recording. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Thrashers Paradise. Today, I am joined with a very special guest, all the way from, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, New Jersey, correct?
Yes, sir.
He is from the Garden State, New Jersey, home to a lot of great metal musicians, and we are joined with one of them today. He is a progressive neoclassical musician who will be releasing his debut album, Moonrise, on March 19th. We are joined with Manuel Barbara. With an accent on the A. I apologize for saying it wrong. It's the Canadian in me. But Manuel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I got off work, recorded some music, and here I am today, or now.
Excellent. Well, we were very excited to have you here, and I'm very proud to say you are the first neoclassical musician we've had, and we're featuring on the channel. So, just to help the people maybe better understand the genre, could you please maybe briefly describe what all is neoclassical?
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a little misleading because when you think neoclassical, you think Ingve and all those guys playing Bach on the guitar. But what I do is I'm a trained in the classical tradition, traditional composition. I studied that in college, and I kind of I try to bring that perspective into the way I write metal and prog, and they're not that different in my mind. So I like to take, especially all these later, late 19th century, 20th century compositional ideas, and kind of mix them up with all that, modern gent and shred and death metal and whatever you want to call it. So that's what I do. That's the version of neoclassical I call myself.
Excellent. Now, as I mentioned, this is your debut release coming out on March 19th. Very exciting time for you. And I would just like to know, even though it is coming out this year in the year 2021, how long has Moonrise been in the works?
Yeah, so I started working on it as like a whole project in the summer of 2018. I rewrote, finished writing, whatever, all the music on it over the summer, and then I tracked all the guitars, the last 2 weeks of the summer. And since then it's been a huge process and a huge learning curve for me because figuring out how to I've got to track drums. We've been through 3 drummers. We need a studio. Oh no, everything's going wrong. We did bass. My buddy Nick Thorpe was really stepped up with the bass. Got it done pretty efficiently, but huge learning process from then until January, March 2021, or January, February. The music, a lot of the music is even older than that. There's been versions of a lot of the stuff on there, way back 2016, 17. It's a lot better than it was in those days. But, a lot of this came out of just stuff I wrote for bands that fell apart before they ever did anything. And then I'm like, let me make something of mine out of it.
Excellent. Now, as we keep mentioning, this is your debut album. Has it finally hit you yet that, holy shit, my first album's coming out soon?
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. It's, just even with the internet being the way it is, even seeing, 1,200 people have watched the little teaser video I put out is just mind-blowing. I'm imagining that number of people standing on my lawn, and it's kind of scary. But yeah, it is hitting me. It's really cool. It's been so long that I've been working on this. All of us, have been working on this that it feels really good to finally see it coming out.
Now, what inspired the album title Moonrise?
I tend to associate images and colors with sort of musical ambiance, and it was the title track. I just kind of saw, like a moon over a lake at night, that kind of stars out, that kind of thing, and I thought it was a cool name.
Excellent. And as we talk about the dark ambiance, we can very much say that that does translate very well into the amazing album artwork that you have decided to go with for this album. Now, for you personally, was it an easy decision to choose this album cover as it? And who is the mastermind behind it?
Yeah, the art actually, I reached out to an old friend of mine from high school, who I've been in and out of touch with over the years, and she's an animator, illustrator, artist, and showed her some of the music, and she liked it, and we kind of spent a lot of time picking the fonts and figuring out what we want. I knew I wanted some kind of like sketchy sort of thing, not full color or whatever. I want it to be kind of parchment sketch kind of feel, and she really delivered. It was pretty easy to say, yeah, that's the one I want.
Excellent. For you personally, out of all the tracks off of this album, which one for you are you the most proud of, and which one gave you the hardest time during the writing process?
Oh man, there's two that I'm super proud of, but if I was gonna name one, it's gonna be the next single that's coming out, which is the Nightmare Weaver. I just feel like that has so many moving parts that came together in such a neat way. I'm really happy how it all fit together in the end, and it's got a lot of um, compositional techniques that I've been refining for quite some time in it. Plus, it just sounds really cool. I think, I hope. But the one that gave me the most trouble recording. Also, there's one bit in that one that is extremely difficult to play in time, because it's all 16th note triplet tapping and nothing's playing the backbeat. But I think overall, uh, the God Complex might have given me the most trouble recording it. Just there's a lot of stretchy stuff. There's a lot of fast runs. There's a pretty cool solo in there. It's got a lot of tricky things to execute properly.
Excellent. Now, speaking of the title that we keep mentioning, Moonrise, which happens to be the self-titled track that was first released for the promotion of this upcoming release, for you, what made you, well, I believe it's pretty obvious why Moonrise was the first single off the record to be shown to the world, but for you, what made you want to go a step ahead and actually do a playthrough of the song?
Um, it was really, I think, one of the best ways for me to be able to showcase the music in a way that's kind of engaging to more than just your ears. You need content to put out that's all kinds of media to put out when you're doing this kind of thing. I wanted to showcase all that setup that I just put together, and it's fun to play. I like playing, and it's something that I can do, that I enjoy, that produces a product that I can show to the world and that will people will see and hopefully like. Plus, with the pandemic and everything, no one's playing live, so I just felt like playing in a way that's live.
Excellent. Now, with with all the announcements that you've made, with teasers and the song being released, how excited are either listeners of the band and or your friends are? How excited are they for the release of this album?
Um, my friends are pretty excited. I think. I hope they're not just being nice. My old roommate, who was in the house while I was recording it, said it's nice to hear this. It's nice to hear the whole thing and not in pieces with you swearing between takes. So yeah, reception among my friends has been pretty great. They've been hearing versions of this music for years. Public reception has been pretty cool. I've been seeing, not an ocean of people, but the people who have commented have it's been all positive. So I'm pretty hyped for as much of that as I can get and as much of that as I have.
Excellent. For you during this whole PR, Jesus cat, I apologize for her. No. So I know you brought in John Asher of Asher Media to help with your PR stuff, but for you personally, what have you found the hardest about promoting your album through this difficult time?
I mean, there's no live shows, so I can't just grab the band that I recorded this with and say, hey, we got a show down at the pub or whatever. Um, and that's a great way to just show people your music, especially if you're playing with other local bands that everyone likes. It's been a lot of the following I've built, modest as it is, has been online. So I imagine it's not been as bad as it has been for some people who really rely on that live presence. And people spending more time in their houses is probably good for me in terms of like an online marketing campaign. But yeah, I also can't get together with Nick and Joey and do maybe a live playthrough. We can't really do interviews with a bunch of us, which might be fun. All that kind of stuff is a little more difficult, if not off the table entirely. But can't complain too much.
Fair enough. Now, as I mentioned, you are in the Garden State, home
Mhm.
to probably one of the greatest thrash bands to ever come, Overkill. For you and your style of play, I don't know much about the New Jersey scene, but does it kind of fit in, or is it a standout compared to the rest of the bands from the state?
Um, I Overkill hasn't been a huge influence on me. I have seen them and I do enjoy their music. Symphony X is also from the state, and they've been a lot more of an influence on what I do. I I spent the past 5 years in Boston, so that scene, that more local scene, has been a lot more what I was a part of as I was kind of making all this stuff. So there's a lot of great people coming out of there, like Myth of I and Beast and Nod and those guys. Oh, what are they called? Vivisepulture. Those guys are great. Um, so I moved back here recently. I grew up in Virginia. I moved to Boston, and then I came here. Kind of, my family moved in the in between time, so I haven't really been as much part of the New Jersey scene as I would like, and it's kind of hard to get into that as things are. But there's Symphony X, and Symphony X is pretty amazing.
That they are. That they are. I can agree with you there.
Oh,
Now,
also, excuse me. There's Thank You Scientist, which is it's amazing. I do less of the jazzy thing, but all that weird timing stuff is exactly my kind of thing.
awesome. Now, for you, on March 19th, when everyone will finally be able to get to hear your debut release, are you going to be very excited to hear what people have to say, or do you kind of have an idea just by already the reception you've been receiving about how the people are going to feel about the album?
Yeah, I'm excited to know. I would love to hear more detailed commentary. A lot of what I've received thus far is, oh, it sounds great, it's amazing, it's this is awesome, or whatever it is. I'm always, I think, the worst thing you can do to a musician or an artist is tell them their work is good when it isn't. So I'm interested to hear if someone doesn't like it, why don't you like it? I'm excited. I'm excited to see what people say. I hope they have things to say about it. I imagine it will be good, just judging by the reception I've gotten so far. But there's always surprises.
Fair enough. Now, when the date does come, where are people going to be able to find this album?
It'll be everywhere. It'll be on Spotify, Bandcamp, um, iTunes, Amazon, all the usual suspects. I will be announcing on social media and plastering it all over everywhere I can find to plaster it over. So it should be pretty easy to find if you follow me or just type my name into any one of the services.
Excellent. And second last question before I ask our fun question here at Thrashers Paradise. Will there be any physical copies of the album available for purchase on the 19th, or is that still a work in progress?
It's still a work in progress. I am still working out the logistics and practicality of printing out physical copies. That may change depending on how the reception is. I'm not going to print out 500 copies and then sell 3 of them. But I'm hoping that I will be able to do a physical release sometime in the not so distant future.
Awesome. And one last question for you. We asked this to all of our first time appearing guests here at Thrashers Paradise. It's just a fun little thing to end off the interview and to test your metal knowledge. Hopefully you get this correct. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Oh, Lemmy.
And that is correct. Manuel, thank you so much for your time and taking it out of your busy schedule just to come with me to sit down and talk here at Thrashers Paradise. Is there anything else you would like to say to the people that are watching this on YouTube?
Just follow me on all the social medias and keep playing, keep listening. Do what Van Halen said. Don't stop the music.
Damn right. Manuel Barbara.
Don't worry about it.
Manuel Barbara. Oh, could you please do it?
Barbara. Manuel Barbara.
Debut album Moonrise will be out on March 19th. Make sure to. Can you pre-order already?
You can pre-order on Bandcamp, yes.
Make sure to go ahead and pre-order on Bandcamp and listen to Moonrise, which you can hear on YouTube. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.